Hello and welcome to American Falls. This is episode 2, and in this episode we are going to be doing a lot of field work. We're going to start off with collecting the straw on the field that we harvested last night. We're going to be using this windroller baling comber. It's got a nice big width, and we'll get started on that. Then we've got a potato harvest contract, which is a big job. That's going to take the best part of the day to get done, and then later on in the afternoon we'll come back to this field and get it ploughed up and prepared for the next season. Right, so let's get back to this field and this combo harvester. It's got a really nice wingspan, if you want to call it that. So it easily harvests two swaths at the time, with a bit of space on either side to pick up little bits and pieces that have been missed or are just a little bit offline or something along those lines. Fantastic. It works at a good pace as well. We're at 20 k's an hour, 20 kilometers per hour, so it's pretty swift. It's very nice because it saves time on a number of fronts. So first of all, it does away with having to windrow and then come back and bale. And of course it also does at least two swaths at a time, which is a big time saving. Of course, if you wanted to do silage, you would still need to wrap it, but that's not really a problem or not really a consideration when evaluating this machine for the work that it does. I mean, this has just made really short work of this small field, I know, but of this field. I kind of like this field. It's a good demo field, if you want to call it that, because it's small. So this is probably its biggest drawback, is when you're trying to pick up small pieces like that. The wingspan is still of the windrow is still so big, tends to get caught on things around the edges of the field. But that's not really a major problem. Just get the last of this done. We'll come back later and pick up or during the course of the day. Might not show it, but we'll pick up these bales and I'll put them into the cow barn. Get the straw into the cow barn and get that up and running and started. Bit of rain, but not too much of a problem. Yeah, how quick was that to get that field baled? Very happy with that. Of course, we'll need to get some sort of bigger shed to house it and protect it from the elements, particularly during the winter time. The major problem with this is the height of the windrow forks. They stand pretty high, and we need to find something that's tall enough to get it in. Right, so let's go and get started on the potato harvest. I am using the Colossus harvester on unrealistic settings, so it's got a capacity of about 250,000 litres, and can work at top speed of the vehicle, which is 43 kilometers per hour. It's just that I very seldom do root crops because of the time they take to harvest when I'm doing series, YouTube series. So I decided to do that on an unrealistic setting, and perhaps the whole series has not been played at true to life parameters. Try to be okayish about it, but yeah. So this, because of the speed, and we won't show the whole harvest because it's a really big field, but we'll kind of jump around. It'll give you an opportunity to see something which I don't think I've actually shown since I've started my channel. I don't think I've done a root harvest yet. So this just enables that. Most of the time when I'm driving it as I am now, I'll try and keep the speed down to, I can't even call it realistic levels, because we're already getting up to 34, 35. We're only a couple of k's off the top speed. But yeah, it's just kind of, it's not impossible, but it's difficult to keep the speed down when it works so efficiently. Yeah, so I can't say I'm going to try and keep it. It was just wishful thinking as I started doing that, thinking, oh, I'll keep it down to 20-ish. The next thing I look up, pushing 40 k's. Oh dear. So I think I'm going to have to create it's a bit of an experimental harvest as well. It's got a very big turning circle. So I think, particularly when there's other people's fields around, we're going to need to have a fair headland so that there's room for the machine to turn. So I think we'll do at least 2 passes. Well, I don't know. Let's just see how it goes. We use this as a testing field. Because I'm pretty sure that once I put this onto a worker, that it will kind of go over into the neighbour's field. Not sure how much space it actually needs. There we go. That's that bottom one done. Yeah, so I'm going to put this onto a worker. I did do a few, well, 2 passes. Was it? It could have been three passes, I think. So we've got it on a worker, still encroaching slightly onto the neighbour's field, but not too badly. And at the top I've got plenty of room for it to turn around, because I kind of did the top part of this field manually, just to square off the top, because well, it's pretty square, but there's a little bit of a extension to the field as we're going back on the right hand side. Let's give you a chance to look around this. There you can see that sort of gentle curve at the top of the screen there. Yes, I'm going to use, so workers are available, course play is available in this series. I'm going to use workers on where possible, and course play on stranger fields or non-squared fields. See if it goes onto the field. I think it has to go onto the field. Yeah, it's not too bad though. we'll have a chat with the neighbour, let him know. I didn't check to see if what it planted there. Maybe it hasn't been planted yet. It wouldn't be too much of an issue, besides a bit of compaction. Of course, this is a big vehicle, so it's probably compacted quite a lot. Yeah, this unrealistic harvesting just puts a new perspective on root crops. Right, so I've got a nice big trailer. It takes 100,000, but of course the harvester takes 250,000, so if it's full it would never empty it. So I've just decided to kind of fill up the truck as and when it gets back, and provided of course there's more than 100 and I think it's 106,000 litres, just over 100,000 litres available in the harvester, and then we can let the worker carry on with working the fields, and we can run up and down to the I think it's the grain silo where this has to be delivered. It's a little bit of a drive, so I'm pretty sure there will be a full harvester just about, if not, well, I'm pretty sure there'll be more than 100,000 litres in the harvester by the time I get back. You can see this trailer is a bit heavy for the Mack going up this hill. The Mack is 500 horsepower, so yeah, you might find that we have to commit sacrilege and swap out a Mack truck for a Volvo and a cab over in addition to that. We'll have every red-blooded American trucker up in arms. But that Volvo does have heaps of it, 750 horsepower I think. But I'm not going to worry about that now. The truck handled it fairly well coming down. It's just the little hills when you're getting started. Right, so here we are. Let's get this offloaded. Pretty impressive to see this thing tip out. It's pretty long. Huge. Of course that means that we won't be able to use this trailer for any deliveries that are indoors, so inside sheds and such like. Now I haven't really looked around the map to see whether there will be any like that. I think on American farms generally not so much, but we'll see, and we'll deal with that when that happens. Might have to get a push trailer. Right, so yeah, we're back at the field. It's just about finished the what it just showed to be just about finishing the worker field. I just let it finish off and jump cut to her. So we'll take another load up and then we'll get the worker started on the bottom little bit. There's not much left after this. But I think I will have to go and put a headland in at the top of this little extra part of the field, because I think there may be some trees that will create an obstruction. So let's just get this offloaded and then we'll go and have a look. Yeah, so this has taken the better part of the day. I have jump cut a fair amount, but I think I've given you a good gist of how the harvesters worked, how this Colossus machine works, and how good it is for these type of series and these type of games where you're not playing ultra realistic. I mean, if we were realistic, we would have had to have 3 or 4 harvesters working on this field to bring it in at a reasonable time, well, within a reasonable time. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with using this, and I'm happy because I really don't do a lot of root crops. So we will do a beet harvest. We might even plant our own beets somewhere along the line. We're going to do a bit of sugar cane when we harvest the field that came with the farm. It's probably going to be the only sugar cane we do. We'll see. You know, we'll play it by ear. I'm not going to commit to certain crops just to start. We'll not limit ourselves to certain crops. I'm not going to limit ourselves to anything on this series, really. Just about having fun, enjoying the map, and enjoying playing with machinery that I possibly wouldn't normally have. So I'm doing this series, of course, on the Xbox, because I've really wanted to do a big American Mac on the Xbox. I've kind of put it off for quite a while, and then I want to do a American series on the PC as well. But I think it's an Iowa map, something along those lines, which I've seen some YouTube videos of in early release. Some YouTubers that have, can't remember which one it was, that has early release of the map, and it looks good, looks nice and big again. We can use some really big machinery. Maybe that one will play a little bit more realistic. I don't know, I haven't really had a look at it. But let's get this lot delivered. We've got the workers started to finish that small field. Let's see how this lorry goes up this hill now. Oh, it's going up okay. The old Mac is doing the job. We'll get this delivered back down to the grain silo, and hopefully by the time we get back the work would be finished, if not just about finished, the little extra field, or the little extra section of that field, and we can get the rest in. Now I wonder if this is going to finish the contract. Let's hope so. Somehow I doubt it though, but in days gone by, and only 79, still 21% needed. Oh, I know we had some potatoes still in the harvester when we filled this up the last time. I don't think we're going to get a lot of potatoes for ourselves. Maybe 10,000's worth in money terms. I don't know. Well, that's what I was hoping for. There we go, just about finished. It's just doing this last little section. Look at that thing go. Alright, we'll just park this up here and then we'll go and pick up the harvester, come and offload it. Yeah, I've been quite impressed with this Colossus. There's also a harvester that that has a huge capacity and can work at very fast speeds. But I'm not going to use that on the series. I think the harvesters that we have normally have a big enough width to handle the situation normally. In that case, if we have a field that's really big, we might have to lease a couple of extra harvesters or buy some or whatever, just as it goes. Right, so we've taken the harvester back and parked it all up, and we'll take this last lot down to the silo, to the grain silo, get it delivered and see how much we make out of it, how much bonus we get, I suppose you can call it that. I think there's still 21% to go, and a full load was doing 39-40ish%. So there's not going to be a lot. There's not going to be a lot over. I don't think we'll get $10,000 worth of cash out of this. We'll just wait and see. See what happens when we get down there. It's all offloaded now, and it'll be the moment of truth. See how much we make. I suppose there's a small amount of trepidation that it's not going to complete the contract, but I would have thought it would have been tested out and such like, so, because we didn't leave any potatoes on that field. We pretty much got every potato there was. Yeah, it's not too bad, just over 8,000. Not quite what I was expecting. We've lost a bit of money on the environmental score, but that'll change because we have the local lab doing soil samples on our fields as we speak. Obviously they hadn't finished that before we delivered, so we'll get those results in pretty soon. Right, let's just go and claim our money. There's a nice bit of 18,000 plus the 8,000, not too bad. Oh, it's all happening. It's the lab coming in with the results. So I've only got the two fields, so the actual main farm and the extra field, the small field that we harvested yesterday. So that one is sandy, loam and clay. Not the best, but not the worst either. And this one is loam and sandy loam, much better. So looks like the soil around here will not be too bad. Right, and let's go and just get this field, our little field, ploughed up. Get it ready for some liming and preparing for the next planting. Not sure whether we'll get a planting in before winter. I'll have to check the calendar, but we'll do that in the next episode. We'll finish this episode off with the ploughing. We've got a nice big John Deere plough. It's got a massive width. Big tractor. I'm not a great fan of tractors. I know they look nice, and mainly because I struggle to steer them properly. A different sort of steering. You've got to realize that tractors steer like tanks. So basically you slow down on one side to adjust your direction. And I tend to do this weaving stuff with these. I suppose it happens with the wheel tractors as well, but I just feel more comfortable with them. It's probably just a case of testing them out. But I think what I might do is I might trade in these two big tractors for one big wheel tractor, and give ourselves a little bit of extra working capital down the line. We'll see, but we won't make that decision today. We'll leave that for the next time if need be. Right, let's get going. Get some lights on. That's better. They're still doing a bit of weaving here or there. Looks like we've been in the pub at lunchtime, partaken of a bit of the old amber nectar. We haven't, of course, we haven't had time. We've worked flat out. Haven't even had a lunch break. It's the thing when you work for yourself. There's nobody to complain to if you don't have. It's getting stuck on the road. I did lift it. Oh, it's alright, it's not too bad. But yeah, just not much turning room for the size of the equipment on this small field. I suppose I could have done a headland, but I like this up and down. I like the depth of field that you can see as you're ploughing. So we are ploughing at more or less the same time as we were the last episode. There we go. A bit more wiggling and woggling. And because of the overcast situation, you can see how hazy it is in the distance. So just another example of the great mapping and the great lighting, or the lighting of the map. So it was yeah. As I said in the last episode, I think the lighting is Oxygen David's. I think Lanciboi had permission to use, but that combined with the beauty of this map just is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Really can't complain. Of course, the width of this machine is making short work of this field. So I think we'll see a lot of work done on this field because it's nice and small and we can get things done. We can get to it quickly and we can show the job in its entirety. And then when we're doing bigger fields, we can do similar things to what I did on the potato harvest, just show different sections of it. So I think that's the way we're going to go. I'm going to be concentrating a lot on this series and the actual farming part, as opposed to all the other. We'll do the other bits and pieces and of buildings and that type of stuff, but I'm going to show quite a bit of the actual farming side, be it on time lapses or jump cuts. But I'm not just going to show the beginning and the end of the jobs. I'm going to show at least the beginnings, or close to the beginnings, bits and pieces of the whole job in a, I suppose you could call it a montage type situation. But yeah, we'll show some of the machines workings, and it's just nice to be working with nice big machines. I mean, we've used big-ish machines on the other series that we've done, but they've been kind of European maps and they've been limited to a large extent by the size machine that you can use overall. Yeah, we can go big and then make a plan if a place is too small or too tight. Whereas in the European and the British maps, you have to go the other way around, go medium to small, and then make an exception when you hit a nice big field. Well, I think that's where we're going to end this episode. Thank you so much for watching. You know what to do. If you've enjoyed it, please like and subscribe, hit the bell, do all those nice things. It does help me out. And while we're folding up, all that's left for me to say is cheerio.